Welcome back to Automotive Insight, where two guys with a camera thought it was a good idea to film what they did for a living. Today we have a 2015 Chevy Colorado with the V6 3.6 liter. The AC compressor has gone out. More specific, the clutch is making noise. So we're going to replace the compressor, and we're also going to replace the condenser. So let's get into it. We got our AC system evacuated. Next step is going to work on removing the engine cover. Not sure how many there are, but there's a couple T30 bolts here. There's one on this side and one on the back, and remove the intake hose and the other part of the PCV hose on top there. Take the oil cap off. The last one is the hose that goes to the throttle body. We're going to take the airbox cover off and see if we can get access to the 8mm hose clamp underneath here. Next step is we're going to take the serpentine belt off. It's a 1/2 inch breaker bar. See if we can disconnect our clutch connector. It's got usually a locking tab on it. We're going to remove the hoses from the compressor. It's a 13mm nut, and it's got a stud in the middle of it. Go ahead and remove the left front wheel. Still trying to gain access to the back bolt. I think Chevrolet has made this an impossible and unreasonable task. So this is the best angle we can get on. This is the bolt on the back side of the compressor. Yeah, looking through the wheel well. I am up top, reaching back near the. It's got a deep 15 near the steering shaft, and it's about one click at a time right now. So we'll see if maybe find a quicker way, but it is loose. 15 deep with a flex head 3/8 ratchet. The back bolts removed. We're going to work on removing the two front bolts. They're 15mm. Be cautious, there's still a connector on the bottom of the compressor. We're going to see if we can flip that over and get access to it after removing these bolts. So we got our new compressor prepped. They want you to take the amount of oil from what was evacuated, and then also what drains from the compressor, the old compressor. The new one comes with 1.4 ounces of oil, so you want to make sure you balance that or equal that going back in. But I always like to add an extra ounce just to be on the caution side. But I've got all that balanced out and ready to go back in with our new compressor. That's the drain. Headed. So I couldn't get the hoses off with the compressor in, so trying to get the hoses back into place. Um, try to leave this on just because there's kind of some dirt buildup in here, to help prevent the dirt from falling in. So work this in with trying to put the hose on. So we're back through the wheel well, trying to tighten up that back bolt. This has been a kind of a two-person job for some of the minor things, but you got the bolt broke loose, and then you take it out by hand and put it back in by hand, and use the wrench to tighten it down. So there's not much room or access to get with any kind of swivel, but that's back in and tight. We left the front ones loose to get that one back in. Now we'll tighten up the front bolts. All right, with the compressor bolted in and everything plugged in, got our hoses tight. Throughout this whole process, I've replaced all the gaskets and O-rings where and opened where the system was opened. So now I'm putting the belt back on. So we're going to replace the high side service port. The low side service port is a Schrader valve. The high side is a ball valve. They can tend to leak also, but while the system's discharged, it's not too bad. It's a 16 millimeter wrench to hold the line, and then just a pair of pliers to tighten it, get it loose. All right, we got a vacuum being pulled on the system. We're going to finish putting the rest of our stuff on, which pretty much is the intake tube and the air filter housing. It's a good idea to just go ahead and clean your throttle body while you're here, because this upper cover is a little more work than necessary. Well, we got our system charged up. Anytime you're replacing the compressor, replacing the dryer or the desiccant bag, or that's a dryer also, but is a good idea. We replaced the condenser on this one. We didn't film it. It took about 3 hours. It is very unpleasant to do. But this one also had about a quarter of the way up was full of leaves and grass. So that's also just kind of a diagnostic potential problem that you can run into with AC issues. But I think this compressor failed just because of normal wear and tear. But we got everything flushed out and refrigerant charged up. AC is blowing cold, so that's going to wrap this. That's going to wrap this one up. If you like what you saw today, thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I was hoping for the piggyback, right?